wasn't planning on using my head to go hit him.
You don't know ball, Theo. That's what we've gotten down to. Like, you cannot put yourself in the head of a quarterback on an NFL field.
Nobody should be in the head of that quarterback.
There's some space in there, maybe. I don't know, sloshing around. But you know what? That's exactly what happened. This is a game. He played the game. He took a hit. Whatever, dude. We wouldn't have this conversation with anybody else.
I had this conversation with you about Patrick Mahomes after he literally took his wide receiver Rashee Rice out because as he dove head first for a tackle like an idiot against the Chargers after he threw an interception in a double coverage, he took out Rashee Rice's knee. Now he's not going to have his number one receiver in his second year that was on a trajectory that might have been still leading the league in receptions.
Well, yeah, it's better
generally
to take
a
out
negative play.
It's better to take out the opposition's knee than your own wide receiver's knee. I think that goes without saying. And Tua took out an opposing player.
Tua's going to take himself out is the problem. He's going to take himself. Now do we have to spend an offseason of him training on tackling drills? We've already done the sliding drills. He had to take jiu-jitsu because he doesn't know how to fall when he's taking a sack. Now we have to teach Tua how to tackle because he throws the ball to the other team too damn much. At what point do we just say, hey, just stay out of the play? Just back up. Relax. Let somebody else handle that. That's why they're your teammates. That's why you're the quarterback. You're the franchise guy. You are the person that we all live and die to protect. Just get out of the way.
But even if the quarterback doesn't make the tackle on these plays, he is a body on the field that the defender has to avoid and maybe push the ball carrier to another person who was on offense, now on defense, trying to make a tackle. I don't think where the Dolphins are right now, they have to win every game, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like, so what? He runs back for a pick six. It's okay. No, you try to make the tackle and say, all right, you get my back, D, please.
All that speed on that offense and somebody else couldn't get to him? All of that speed. Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane. Jonnu Smith is fast for a tight end, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. And he's the one that caught up to the dude. And also, I will say this, too. If you're Tua, you're right. You're right. Hey, go and be a body in the play. Give your offense that is now the defense because you threw the interception, give them an extra body in the field for that player to have to consider, but don't dive head first at his knee. We won't stay on that too long. I just had to get that off my chest because it was idiotic, and he did it again in prime time. And luckily, he survived that blow to the head. And the Rams could not survive what was a stifling Dolphins defense, which was a good enough, above-average Miami offense. Tua 20 for 28, 207 yards through the air, a touchdown, a pick, and a win. The Dolphins now set themselves up because they have the easiest schedule going forward in the National Football League. They stand at 3-6. I saw ESPN. Their stats and analytics or FPI or whatever you want to call it gave them a 13% chance of making the playoffs. Here's the thing about that. The Dolphins actually should, if everything goes according to plan over these next 2 weeks, because they have a very, very cupcake schedule, they have a chance to have that number tick up and up. At 3-6 right now, these next 2 weeks, CCAT, this weekend at home, I'll be at the game as the Dolphins host the Las Vegas Raiders, who have pretty much mailed their season in, right? It's over with.
Yeah, you got to win that football game. They're going to beg you to win that football game.
Yeah. So Dolphins Raiders at home this Sunday. I'll be at Hard Rock Stadium. I'll likely watch the Dolphins win. And we discussed their schedule last night, and I jokingly said they're going to mess around and win this Monday Night Football game. They're going to give you false hope. That's the place we're at right now when they're sitting at 3-6. Only one game back, one game in the loss column back of the Broncos, who sit in the 7th seed in the AFC. So when they win that game over the Raiders, that 13% spikes up, maybe about 17, 18%. Then the next week at home, they got the Patriots. Tua has owned the Patriots. That's the one thing he's probably done well and consistently for Miami is get rid of that team, that New England team. Even when Bill Belichick was there, Tua Tagovailoa has dominated them in the same way that the Bills dominate Miami. So you expect them to win that one as well. Sitting at 5-6 now, the Dolphins' percentage is spiking well over a quarter, maybe like up to 30% for FPI. And then it's going to come down to, again, that Thursday night. What the Dolphins are doing here is they saved the Thanksgiving slate. They did. The Miami Dolphins saved the Thanksgiving slate because we were looking at that schedule on that Thursday. We know we're going to be spending time with family. By that time of the day, you're done eating. You're well into your 4th or 5th drink. You're chopping it up with your uncle. I mean, this year for sure, Thanksgiving is going to get weird. The conversations around Thanksgiving, depending on how your household is and how your family might be split, with everything that's happened over the past 2 weeks here in America, it's going to be some, by the second or third drink, it's going to be some conversations being had at that table. And you know what Tua saved us from? Having to lock in on that, because at 8:20 when they kick things off for some Thursday night football on a Thanksgiving, Packers-Dolphins is actually going to mean something, because the Dolphins will be 5-6, and Fins fans everywhere are going to be, their blood is just going to be pumping with that drug that you cannot really test for. That drug that also just, it makes you as irrational as Tua Tagovailoa is sometimes on the field when he's doing things with his head that he should not be doing. And the drug is hope. False hope at that. The Miami Dolphins are the new team that are the beacon of false hope for their franchise, for their fan base. And I'm telling you this early because it's going to happen. We're 2 weeks out from everybody feeling it and saying it, that the Dolphins are a dangerous team that you don't want to play. They'll likely run up the score against the Raiders. They'll likely get a big win against the Patriots as well. Everything's going to look like it's firing in the right direction, and we'll really find out what this team is 3 weeks from now. They are a beacon of false hope. Don't fall for it. Don't get too wrapped up in it, Dolphins fans. I'm saving you from the utter embarrassment on the other side. I did the same thing with the Jets a couple of weeks ago, and the ones that listened are thanking me. You should do the same. Again, we're entering the season of thanks, C-Cat. So let's go ahead and give people something to be grateful for. They're a beacon of hope. False hope at that. That's why I want to take it to you today, C-Cat. In the NFL right now, as we're 10 weeks in, we're entering week 11, which we agreed before the show, dog. That slate is sick.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. In order to, if the Dolphins can win 2 games and go into the game against the Packers on Thanksgiving night as a actual opponent, maybe that spread is hopefully within 6 points, so we can think about maybe we have a game here.
Yeah.
Just sleep through the Cowboys-Giants game. Just absolutely sleep through the 4 o'clock game. That's a nap time. That's maybe a turkey bowl time. Maybe that's I got to run to the store for some desserts time. Don't watch football in that 4 o'clock slate. Watch the early game because of tradition, and watch the 8 o'clock game because you'll be buzzed and you'll be happy to do it.
I can't wait for that game. It's going to mean something now, which will be beneficial to all parties involved. By the way, the Packers, like, as good as their record is right now, as good as they've looked, they're third in their division. They need that game too. Mm-hmm. It's going to be both teams in there on Thursday night looking for a win, seeking out a win. But again, one of those teams is actually going to have a real shot at making the playoffs, and the other team in the Dolphins are just living, feeding, and breathing on false hope. Don't fall for it, Dolphins fans.